Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 3rd of December, Thursday. We got initial jobless claims today. We're looking for continuing jobless claims read of 5,915,000 versus previous of 6,071K. And then initial jobless claims 775 versus 778. I'm just thinking about that because, like, the squawk is yelling in my ear and I'm reading it off of the economics releases thing here in Jigsaw. But anyways, that's what's going on today. And I think that this is a pretty big deal because we earlier this week had some releases that for like the ADP data that were not very positive. And we've got the non-farms this week, right? So if that's bad and then initial claims are bad, then, you know, the non-farms isn't expected to be very good either. Let's go to the charts. Interesting day yesterday. Started out kind of down. Let's come here. We need ES. Started out kind of down yesterday. But you know, like they've done often. They started out with a sell and then it turned really green, and it was really quite gangbusters green at some points. This move up right here was really impressive. Not below previous day's high, but so still kind of an inside day. But pretty good overnight, kind of going sideways. Here in the treasuries, yesterday another big decline, but they have since recovered all of that. So kind of interesting. A lot of steepening going on over there. You can see here, especially in the knob side. Oil still in a holding pattern. OPEC plus talks still ongoing. That might keep going until the end of the week. Gold here recovering. I mean, man, gold has taken some hits, but they are trying to pull it out. So. And copper. Oh, copper having a little bit of a breakout this morning. It's kind of holding before that. I think that the dollar is a big component here. Let's come over and see the dollar. And here you can see the dollar once again getting crushed now, well below 91 and heading towards 90. That's oops. Yeah, the dollar's getting crushed. And I would assume, should I assume? I shouldn't say assume. Every time you use the word assume, like, you got to be careful, right? Because people are going to. But I would think that if this jobless claims number comes out and it's poor, that we would have continued declines in the dollar. But we'll see. It could get really bearish, and then maybe the dollar would increase. Let's take care of text to speech here. Also, Bitcoin's still just kind of hovering just below 2,000. You can see cumulative delta there pushing on it. So the futures, people are trying to get involved in buying on futures. So that's something to keep in mind. Well, a lot sold on that, though. Interesting. Anyways, oops, let's move you over here. Test a few things here. Oh, yes, that's right. Okay. Okay. There we go. I'll turn that on. Households have a 41% allocation to equities according to the Federal Reserve Board. This is just shy of the 47% record during the tech bubble. A 1% percentage point increase in allocation would be about $1 trillion worth of demand, or 3% of the S&P market cap. Oh, that's interesting. So 6 times 3, 18. Let's give it 20%. Let's round up to 20% to be generous. 20% further rise, and that could be that would be like the most overbought the S&P 500 has ever been on that metric. Ooh, Iger's might stream. Very nice. I'm actually, so the treasuries are moving up here. The 5-year pushing up on the top of this. VIX, what has it done in December over the past 5 years? VIX is not cheap enough to buy, not expensive enough to sell, remains our main logic. Do note that December, on average, has been one of the bigger up VIX months over the past 5 years. Longer term, December is one of the weaker VIX months with the lowest median reading, but that is historically from 1928 to 2019. This is from... I don't know where they're quoting. Or maybe they just made that stat themselves. And Brannigan Barrett points out from this, what's he say? What a fantastic point. Equities have been in a lull for 3 week sessions. Whilst we have made new record high yesterday, there are a lot of sell positions to wipe out should the VIX begin in this. Oh yeah, totally. Totally, there are a lot of still positions to wipe out. But, well... So I was thinking that I might be able to try and finagle a position here before the news. It is actually modestly bullish. They are modestly bullish. So like right here. But it's so close to the open that... Yes, we got some subscribers to take care of here. Slower than forecast. Interesting that the futures, the ES showed a slight buy there. Okay. It's interesting that it
IQM says
spiked up.
BDCL on CP equals 11. You don't show the range on the dome.
You know what? I haven't changed those. So these are these load levels. Okay. Little bear zone. 09. But I have it reset at the RTH session. So given that we were fairly bullish and both of the numbers on, well,
Sam
actually,
says hi, Seth.
hello, Sam, how are you? Jobless claims was less than expected, and the continuing claims was less than expected. There was a bit of a buy, and then it sold off. It's pretty quiet again now. We'll just scratch that. Okay, we do have some other numbers here.
Ray
Market
Sizzle
composite
says SPX
PMI,
breaking and holding 3,700 would be super cool.
non-manufacturing. Treasuries do seem to be coming down here. The highest insured unemployment rates in the week ending November 14th were in the Virgin Islands, California, Hawaii, Nevada, Alaska, Massachusetts, Georgia, Illinois, District of Columbia, Puerto Rico. 7.9. That's actually not that bad. You know, there's one thing that I keep hearing is people saying, oh, everybody's out of a job, and yeah, but that's like not actually true. Newt Gingrich, Linwood, and Sidney Powell are totally destructive. Every Georgia conservative who cares about America must vote in the runoff. Their don't vote strategy will cripple America. I don't think that anybody's actually going to boycott the vote.
Uzi Knesset says morning.
Morning,
Vincenzo
Uzi.
C says thumbs up. Uzi Knesset says last couple days been a real barn burner, eh? Hee hee.
That is what the heck? A real barn burner? I don't know. It's been interesting. It looks like the market is still very much rotating. Like all of those crazy retail names, you know, all of the ones that I hear about on TikTok have gotten absolutely plastered this week. But the overall market is still up. Neo's down, Palantir is down, Tesla's down a little, I think, right?
Ray Sizzle says, what are your thoughts on DXY?
Oh man, well, what can you say about DXY? Everybody's short and they have
Uzi
a good reason.
Knesset says barn burner equals exciting lol.
So I don't necessarily want to be involved in the place where everybody is short, but or you know, like when there's everybody's in one trade, I don't necessarily want to be involved in it. But it seems like that the dollar is like the surest bet right now, right? But especially when you're scalping it, I'd be very cautious about scalping the dollar, because what happens is when something bad happens, you get like crazy hard stop runs. So three former presidents volunteer for televised vaccination. So you think that Donald Trump will volunteer to get vaccinated live on television? That would be the end of that, I think. Yeah, maybe not, but that would be worth a try, right? Yeah. Oh, you know, I forgot to mention what I'm hearing on when I read my Rand Squawk News Squawk brief this morning. They sounded the negotiators for the Brexit negotiations sound pretty confident that there will be an agreement either today or tomorrow. This is why part of why I think you're
Uzi
seeing.
Knesset says over the last few weeks, like everyone I know has had COVID. I feel left out.
Oh, really? Oh. That would be kind of weird for it to be around and everybody else is catching it except for you. That worked out well. I wonder why they were arranging back and forth up there like that. Well, now you know why. That said, I don't know if they're quite ready
Uzi
to
Knesset says, well,
blast down.
I haven't been around them. Brother got it from work. Friend, his parents, his brother, and his brother's wife all got it from going to Universal Studios twice and an air show lol.
Yeah, so my I guess it's not my so my wife's ex-husband. So I guess it's our ex-husband, but he's a pilot, and apparently the pilot that he flew with the other day, it was confirmed with coronavirus, and they were like, they were in very close contact, ate together and everything. So he is now quarantined, and I guess technically the kids should be quarantined too for a week. Oh, and then one of the kids at school, the girl that she sat next to was caught it.
Gary
So
Rich
now
says
she
at
has to
UCI
stay
I
home.
thought I had COVID, but it turned out to be just AIDS. Plain and simple AIDS. Dodged that one.
Gosh. That's not funny. Huh. Now that
Uzi Knesset
DOL
says it's such a nothing burger lol. My friend's dad is in his 60s and runs a solo landscaping gig and worked through 80% of his sickness lol. Vincenzo C says dodge that bullet, Gary.
Now that DOL is cracking down on claims fraud, California initial claims are tumbling, says a zero hedge.
Maxwell says GM peeps.
Good morning. And it's a good point that it was like mostly California. Open image in new tab. California is still by far the highest, though. I see. That was their decline was the highest. They declined by almost 40,000. Oh, those numbers are not as good as they might seem. Okay. So I think that the market's reaction to this particular piece of news is correct. It is slightly bearish. It's not excessive, but it is slightly bearish. And because they were positioned long, but the treasuries, the issue is that I think that some other things, like for instance, Brexit would be a bigger deal, right? The Brexit thing was out of the way, that would be a bigger deal. It's all very interesting. But I think that would explain why the robots bought on the headline number, but then ultimately the market sold down.
Better than COVID, I hear. At least AIDS doesn't have a political persuasion when it comes to who it infects, right? LMAO.
Jeez. CrowdStrike gapped up to an all-time high after reporting Q3 earnings last night. Ooh, they up there, 12%.
Uzi Knesset says COVID is very selective. Only chooses sinners against her name lol.
Oh, is that it?
Gary Rich says yep, we are in Cali purple quarantine zones. No out past 10 p.m. Like COVID runs rampant after dark. It's not like a werewolf.
Okay, yeah, that one is the most perplexing thing to me. Why is one of the top measures to contain coronavirus a curfew? That makes zero sense. That is the most retarded thing ever. It's not the most retarded thing ever. It makes no sense though. You know what I mean? So I do get saying bars you can't be open past 11 o'clock. Okay, because it seems.
Uzi Knesset says a whole year of curfews and lockdowns and ain't shit changed. So, logic would dictate more curfews and lockdowns, lol.
Well, hold on. From what I've seen.
Maxwell says I guess they think people's tend to closed up at night.
I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing. The thing that spreads it the most from what we have seen is super spreaders and super spreader events. So the worst thing that can happen is y'all go to a bar or to a club and somebody has it and then everybody in that club catches it. And or there's a choir, like singing in a choir, that seems to really do it, or like yelling at a sports game, right? So like sports games and then bars in particular seem to be the things that you want to clamp down on the most, right? Now, interestingly enough, there are other things that from the data that we have don't appear to spread it much, if at all. In particular, the kids don't seem to spread it, which, you know, it's funny because when this all started, do you guys remember all of those articles? And there was a number of articles where they had done all of the scholarly research and showing that schools do not tend to spread viruses. And they weren't doing this on coronavirus in particular. They were doing it on the flu. But they were saying that there isn't scientific evidence to justify closing schools. And then you got this whole thing with Fauci where, Fauci, he knew. Surely he knew. And then all of a sudden, it's so funny is that there could be like all of this data out there about the efficacy of a certain thing. But it doesn't become a thing until like Fauci or those CDC guys say it. You know what I mean? So, now you tell us that we shouldn't shut the schools down. And so in New York, they shut the schools down and then they immediately reversed that. Yeah, that's embarrassing. But I digress. So, and you know what? Like lockdowns where it's like nothing happens except for like you go to the grocery store to buy food. That certainly slows the spread. But that's the thing is that it's like, that's an extreme measure. Ooh, did you see that? 17 was looking weak. It stacked. They pulled 16.5. It traded right through down almost immediately. There is still market making there. So like, that doesn't mean that we're going to bust through 16. But what it does tell you is that, entering a position at 16.5, 17.5 is probably not a good idea for the moment. Because they are playing games with you there. Anyways, so in LA, they're saying, well, we need to lock down because the hospital is about to reach its capacity. So is that irrational response? I think it might be, but then I turn back and I'm like, yeah, but I don't think they have to take it that far. you know? And this is where it's like shutting down every business except for the grocery store is unnecessary and it doesn't seem to help. Like just the act of telling everybody that they need to be cautious, and it does. Well, the masks is another interesting one, because based on everything, this is one where like you do the studies about like people coughing and you like put a thing out there and everything else like that, and you get a pretty good idea that yeah, putting the masks on does prevent the spread. But then when you actually look at numbers like where it was implemented and where it wasn't, and how many people are wearing the masks and how much does that reduce the rise in cases and so forth, and there's no evidence to support it. I think in this case, I think that wearing masks does help, but that's not where the new cases are really coming from anyways. It seems that it's not quite as I was reading something that what was it, smallpox or something has an R of like 32 or something, and this has an R of like 1.2, which means that maybe you infect one person, but most of the time it's a super spreader that does it. Richard, what I find curious is that researchers found COVID in the water supply samples from Barcelona as early as 2019. How did it show up that early? As early as 2019? You really want to slow the spread, be an island with a low population density? That seems to work, yeah. Well, you can just look at it. You know, when we were locked down, and the countries that completely locked down, like New Zealand, yeah, they didn't get new cases. That's fair, right? But I think that the problem has always been that even if you slow the spread, it seems that the amount that it's going to spread anyways is still too high. It's still high enough that it overwhelms your hospital capacity. And it bothers me greatly that we spend so much effort making everybody afraid of the coronavirus and shutting down businesses that don't really need to be shut down. But then we're not. What are we doing to increase our hospital supply? You know, like in my area, they have like tents set up outside, but they don't have enough workers. So then the issue is there's not enough workers. So where is the national push to get nurses for the coronavirus, to tell people that, hey, if you have caught coronavirus and have recovered and are immune, then you should become a nurse and you can help fight it in the hospitals, or, you know, all of that sort of thing is what I would expect to be hearing. And there's none of that. Well, and then there's another thing, which is a type of business that seems like it does help shutting down is like restaurants. Indoor dining seems to be a problem. So I don't know, but yeah, LA went into full lockdown last night again. Well, there's in parts, that's the other crazy thing, is that like in parts of California, it's just been like shut down the whole time. Let's see here. It's because of how they test for COVID. If you went back in time 10 years with the COVID test and tested yourself in 2010 when you had the flu, you test positive for COVID. Yeah. Well, it was interesting. You read all of this stuff that having another type of coronavirus does improve your resistance to it. Okay, I'm hearing more positive Brexit stuff, saying that they think that the bulk of the work is going to get done in soon, but that, there will be a lot of little odds and ends that they have to figure out after that. So I think it's pretty safe for the markets to try pricing that in. Cold flu, SARS, SARS-CoV-2, all would get you a positive test. Yeah, depending on the test. Yeah. I'm seeing this thing from Convergent Trading. They post like a pre-market summary sheet, and it says overnight inventory percentage LS minus 88.5. How do they get that? Oh, okay. Parts of cities in California, you can actually hear a cricket fart. It's that bad and silent like a ghost town. That's crazy. One of the things that I think kind of crazy when I think back on it is like when it was in New York. Remember when it was going through in New York and there was people that hadn't left their house in 3 weeks and they still caught COVID? The cricket. Oh my gosh.
Gary Rich says parts of cities in Cali you can actually hear a cricket fart. It's that bad and silent like a ghost town. Uzi Knesset says cricket probably has COVID. Uzi Knesset says it's funny how pro-lockdown people are usually essential workers who wouldn't dare quit their jobs in protest to their governments not locking down.
Or they work from home. It's true, man. There is a real class divide on this issue, man. It is really quite insane. I tell you what, here's another now I'm going to say unpopular things that get me in trouble, man. But you got me going. Okay. Coronavirus primarily affects the elderly population, like the really elderly population, like 70, 80-year-old people. And I simply don't think that the math works out sacrificing the whole economy to save people that don't have many years left anyways, and that frankly it could help the economy if they go. I know that sounds super cruel, but
Uzi Knesset says yeah, the average COVID death age is higher than the life expectancy of the average American lol.
The math just doesn't work out when you look at, and I don't really see people doing this analysis, but if you look at the number of dollars spent per year of life saved, I don't think that it adds up. It seems like it's a poor net investment. The big push is happening now in
Pierre
Brexit
Klotz
talks.
says, what if it is your dad?
My dad is not 70 years old, but if it was my dad, people listen. People are gonna die, man. Like that. This is the thing that's mind-boggling about it.
Uzi Knesset says my dad died of lung cancer and I still smoke. That caveat don't work on me.
There's a certain number of people, guys, that are gonna die from this, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's time to make peace on it. Listen, you say, what if it was your dad? My sister died from this shit. She didn't die from the coronavirus. She died from the lockdowns. So don't pull that. You're trying.
Ace Trades says at UCI Knesset, there you go. Way to not let logic get in the way.
It's not a matter of logic, guys. If you do a full analysis. And that is, you analyze the impact of every part here. Oh, what happened? Hold on a second. Okay. I want this one. If you analyze the full impact of the lockdowns or any one particular case, and you say, here are the number of hours of life saved from it in older people, and here are the number of years of life lost because of increase in suicides, and you look at the impacts on mental health, and you look at the economic impacts, and not just the short-term economic impacts, but the long-term economic impacts. Because, man, if you're a small business owner and you have to shut your business down because of coronavirus, and then your business, you lose your business because of that, that's like a long-term impact to you, right? Okay. And then I'm saying you do that full analysis, and I don't think that it comes out. And what happens is everybody tries to turn it into a one-dimensional analysis. And that's not logic. This is just manipulation. They say, oh, yes, but what if it was your dad that died? Yeah, but what if it was your business that shut down? What if it was your sister that lost their life to suicide? What if, a dozen other things that have been negative impacts on people from the coronavirus? And, I can't pretend to have done all of the stats on that. I think that that's something that you need a university team of people to spend a few months locked in a room to calculate out and figure out what the best way is to analyze that full impact. But people aren't actually doing it. And I ask why. Why don't they actually want to do that? And I know that then it kind of comes into conspiracy theory territory. But I think that the reality here is that many of the policies that we implement are not based on logic and science as much as people want to tell us that, but they're based on a tendency for certain people to favor authoritarian policies and to favor giving government more power over people. Frankly, from my perspective, the freedoms lost from this outweigh any lives saved. What logic? People die from being fat and still eat Whoppers? There you go. Can you show us the UB? I suppose I could. Why do you want to see the UB? I don't think I could. I mean, I don't have enough room on the screen to keep it, but. They have okay liquidity out there. They've got 30s. Richard says my BS meter went off a long time ago. Well, I'm not trying to say that people are intentionally lying about things and so on and so forth. I don't think that you really have to go that far. I think that most everything that you're looking at can realistically be explained by, people's personalities and political views. And, so if you're a left person, first of all, just the fact that Donald Trump is president right now and the coronavirus being a big thing, supposedly hurts the president, that alone makes you predisposed to be, say that it's a bigger issue, right? And then if you're somebody that is predisposed towards giving government more power, then you're more likely to support these policies that give government more power, regardless of whether or not they actually help. right? It's about expanding government power full stop. That's why everyone focuses on our states that aren't locked down and have spikes in cases, but ignore the lockdown states also having spikes. That's a great point, Uzi, in that having a full lockdown doesn't seem to have had any impact on whether or not you have a spike. One of the narratives or ideas out there that I think has been the most destructive and demonstrably false is this idea that everybody that shut down was fine, and if we had all shut down, then we would be fine. That might have been an argument like back in June, but now you've seen a rise in cases in Europe, even though they locked down. You've seen a rise in cases in California, even though they've been locked down. No one does a full lockdown. In a full lockdown, there's no such thing as essential workers, and you sure wouldn't be able to Amazon yourself goodies from China. Oh yeah, totally. Well, let us say it this way, Uzi. If it was in China, you wouldn't be going outside, right? Because in China, it was you were locked in your house for weeks, and nobody left the city, nobody went outside, and that was it. And that's how they killed it. Is that what you guys want? Not constitutional. Frankly, there's been a lot of things that they've tried to do that weren't constitutional, but we're getting all on this. Like, as far as its application to trading goes, the thing that you have to accept is that you're going to continue to see a lot of cases. Although the interesting thing is that even though it's pretty clear at this point that we're going to see a significant rise in cases, like think back to March April time frame, right? When the markets were at their worst. Remember those days when it was like the number of new cases would come out and the markets would like crazy react to it? And now the numbers that we're getting now are like way worse and nobody cares. I guess because of central bank stimulus. I would think that if there wasn't the central bank stimulus that we would be moving down, right? Yeah, the biggest flag with the whole thing is that you could go to Target, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, the grocery stores, still get your food and goodies delivered to your door by what? People immune to COVID. Well, it's really crazy to me. Let me go back up. You know, you have a governor, for instance. Like this has happened with Governor Newsom like multiple times now, right? He's all, we need to be super concerned about the virus and y'all need to be social distancing and yada, 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 yada. And then they have videos of him at, like a dinner gathering and stuff, It was like the people that are like pushing the policies the strongest, like don't actually follow the policies is so weird to me. And what is going through their head when they do that? Are they thinking, well, if I do this, I'll get more government power, and so it's good? Or is it that he's thinking, okay, I need to do the right thing, and the right thing according to society is to shut everything down. But, for me, I'm an exception to the rule. We'll be careful, and we know that none of them have it, and, if I catch it, it's fine or whatever. And it's almost like, oh, hey, you mean people can make their own responsible decisions about what kind of risks they are willing to take as it pertains to a virus? If you're that concerned about it, don't go out. And then even bigger thing, when you talk about deaths, thing that has the biggest impact on deaths is how well you protect your elderly population. And I've been reading stories where people at the nursing homes are saying like, people like don't come. And if you're sick, don't come. And they're having problems with it. And that's so it's like, oh, like the one thing that actually makes a difference and they're having a hard time with it. What? How frustrating is that? But I kind of wonder, because they're saying that like it'll be like the beginning of January. So how far into the month do we need to get before the markets start to dislike, shutdowns and this and that?
Uzi Knesset says we went to the beach for my sister-in-law's birthday, right? Went to the grocery store to get subs and the kid making our subs said, you couldn't pay me $1 million to go to the beach. Uzi Knesset says so I told him, well, you show up to work every day for far less.
Yeah. Well, what makes him think that the beach is more dangerous than Subway? That is weird. Well, the treasuries are still kind of market making up in this area. I don't know. They do kind of look a little bit biased towards the upside now. Now that, they traded 19.5 for 12 contracts.
Uzi Knesset says because when we opened the beaches, the media blamed that on a small spike in cases.
I understand.
Uzi Knesset says so everyone became afraid of the beach.
Well, I think like, oh, I wish I had just caught it already so that I wouldn't have to worry about the whole thing about catching it and giving it to other people.
Uzi Knesset says, I don't want to sit outside in the sun, but man, being in this building with 600 people in recirculated air makes me feel safe, to logic.
Yeah, well, this is a really odd situation in terms of information, right? Like, you have a situation where there is a lot of information to be had. There's a lot of uncertain information, and very few people actually have that information. You know what I mean?
Gary Rich says people's reaction in response to COVID reminds me of a rat in a hot tin shit house.
So people don't necessarily know what activities are highest risk and which activities aren't. I bet you that if we went and we made a list of activities that are most at risk to get you COVID and then did a survey about it, that, people would be shown to be grossly misinformed on it. Despite all of this push in social media and so forth about information and saying that the White House is pushing disinformation and things like that, which is like, okay, but are we actually getting people the information that they need? And you get on top of that all of these situations where those experts have said things that aren't correct, or they backtrack on, like the school thing with Fauci.
Uzi Knesset says it's simple. Go out a little less, keep your dick beaters clean, avoid touching your face with dirty dick beaters, and if you're sick, just stay home for 2 weeks. Don't need lockdowns for that.
That's what you call hands? Hey, down tick. Well, E-mini's pushing up a little bit again. Kind of back to the news price. I'm surprised that, did I miss it? Did Ace post a trade, or did he say, no, well, I don't want to hear people rail against coronavirus? That's what we called them in the army. Oh, really? I didn't know. Oh, look at that. They came back down fast. Yeah. Why make money trading when we can just sit and bitch? Yeah, I get you, Ace. The E-minis, I don't know if the E-mini at this particular location is kind of a, I don't know, it's a toughie. So let me show you something interesting that I not understand. On my chart here, the buyer and seller cost basis both decreased despite this moving up. Wonder if I come down into here. Okay, so do you see how it was like on this move up right here, the bulls took a lot of profits and reduced their positions, which kind of suggests that there's been a lot of absorption against this move on the offer, but it caused both of these lines to decline, which is really, really curious. So pushed the seller's cost basis all the way down to here. So something's going on here, pre-market. But that still puts us like right at the key level, and unsure about which direction it's actually going to take. Even my level 2, you see you got stuff on both sides here. So that kind of suggests that the orders that are really sitting out there and waiting for fills want it to go higher, but then they're stacking, trying to make it appear like that there's more on the bottom side. A Santa Ana wind event is expected to impact Southern California into the weekend. These winds are strong downslope winds that blow through mountain passes. The winds are warm and dry and severely exacerbate brush or forest fires. Oh yeah, that's like the windstorm that we had. So for those were cold, those weren't warm. With VIX this low, it feels like a dog dragging its butt across the carpet. A tough grind feels like rough sandpaper. That is so. I tell you what. Okay, you got short, Ace. That I'm surprised to hear you say that, Gary. Because, I mean, historically speaking, it's not that low, really, is it? The index futures haven't rolled over yet. No, I don't think so. I mean, there's still plenty of liquidity on the current contract, at least. Oh, you haven't taken it yet. I'm actually that one. I'm not sure I 100% follow why you want that spot. Just trust in the ace. Well, so one thing we should, well, so here's kind of my thinking at the moment, okay? I think that when you look at the initial jobless claims that we had, it was slightly less than expected, which you think would be good. But then you go into the numbers and you realize that the decline is largely due to California, because there was a lot of fraud going on in California, I think. So that's why I think the market has kind of been a little bit downer since that news. But there's also news going on that we're going to get a Brexit deal soon, and there is a possibility that we will get headlines that we can expect that would push the indexes up significantly, potentially. Brexit. Let's see here. Barnier, team member, there's a ways to go still in EU-UK talks. Okay, so that one's a slightly negative headline. Yeah, holy shit, Brexit is still a thing. Yes, apparently Brexit is still a thing. Okay, what's he saying? Historically, VIX above 24 is relatively high. Below is low and dropping. It's a grind until things manage to work themselves out. And we are at, like, what? Oh, I don't have it on here. Let me add it on here. VIX. Will it show me the VIX futures now? I bet that probably not. So just do this. Oops. You have to do it on new pane. There we go. Okay. Well, we're well below 25, right? Oh, I get where you're coming from. Because let me show you. Historically speaking, the VIX does tend to be over 25. So there's 25. Historically speaking, the VIX does tend to be 25, over 25. But not since the QE era. Since the QE era, that's kind of when it's like gangbusters. Right? This time it's kind of been sticking there and maybe now finally dropping. So do you think that we'll go down to like the 10s area again? He says it's that spot is at the futures is 22.48 right now. So that's kind of interesting. Either way though, regardless of whether it's historically high or historically low, the point is, I think that your main point is correct though, right? That it turns into a slog, which is really hard to trade. VIX 10 is a very long way away, maybe 2023. Sure. That would be within the time frame that I was kind of thinking of when I asked that question. like I'm saying, when the coronavirus is done and defeated, and we turn into the bullish, low volatility environment, assuming there's not some sort of debt crisis, I would expect that over the course of 2 to 5 years, that VIX would go back to some of its lows from like 2017, and that we would get like a VIX of 10. And this is where I always look at a lot of the stuff that I see, and because I'm always thinking about it when I'm like reading Reddit and seeing people post stuff, and they're like, okay, well, here's this thing and this thing that I think seems to work. But then you say, oh, well, okay, but if you like back test that back out historically and you go back to the low volatility times, it doesn't work very well at all. Oh man, so you know what I was on last night? I saw a TikTok by a creator, and he was saying, okay, you want to know there are these special times where all of the algorithms have been told to buy things. And when that happens, you get multiple time frame continuity. So you just want to trade when you get in that multiple time frame continuity. And I'm like, well, I've backtested that one. I've backtested that one a lot. One of probably the second most time that we've spent in backtesting has been on that. And That doesn't work that well. So actually, if the hourly and the daily are both in continuity, that can help your trades. But once you start to go out into like the week and the month, it reduces your number of trades so much that it's basically not even worth waiting for, right? And it really doesn't improve your probability that much. So he was I was like, have you actually done the stats? And he's like, my trading are my stats. And I'm like, then show it. Like, this guy is full of crap, because he wouldn't be saying any of the stuff that he's saying if he actually knew the data on these kinds of things. But then I kind of had a revelation, because I started backtesting. Like, I just pulled up my numbers just in case he started pushing the issue. I was like, well, if you don't shut up, I'm going to embarrass you. So I went and reran all of my backtests that I had on that and changed them up a little bit. I did find that if the week is down and then the week goes positive, that can have, there can be a little bit of a good trade there when that happens, but only this past year. Doesn't it's actually a terrible strategy going further back. And all of them, waiting for multiple time frame continuity in the low volatility regimes worked very, very poorly. And so I was thinking about that, like, okay, so what kind of fundamental information can we potentially draw, or theories that we can potentially make from that? So here's my theory. Long-term investors don't give a shit if they bought something and they're up or down on the week, because whether or not the markets have moved up or down that week has absolutely no impact on whether or not they still think that the company is a good buy, and it doesn't affect the fundamentals of the company. In other words, the entire underlying theory behind why you would want to buy when there's multiple time frame continuity is dead wrong. Theory, of course. Interested to know what you guys think about that one. Once the vaccine gets fully out for all, VIX could get to 20 from, I think he meant to say from 20 to 18 or 15. Sure. Even if VIX at 18 is only a 0.94% expected move, that's a hard grind. Is it? Well, I don't know. I feel like that if it's a 1% mover day, that we can do okay scalping. I should another thing that I should point out is that I always hated that low volatility regime because I was so poor at trading that kind of action. But the edges that we've been working on recently, and it's funny that when we worked forever and ever and ever, and then when we finally started having some breakthroughs on that front, everything got crazy. But my hope is that when that low volatility comes, and I still don't think that we've completely gotten it, but when that low volatility comes, I'm hoping that we'll have an advantage. And of course, all of these TikTok day traders that have been trading it are going to have a hard time, right? He says 2 minutes. Did you hit at 67.25 now? It's just now touching it. Probably too close. Oh, he did get filled short, but not too confident. Okay. So you're going to hold it through the open then? Okay. I'll join you. I'll try and join you. I don't want you to feel alone. And just do that one. Oh. Let's see here. I think what some missed about low VIX, the buybacks juiced the markets, which distorted the low VIX until a volatility shock came. Are you saying that when the VIX was so low that it was being suppressed by you're saying that the VIX really shouldn't have been as low as it was based on the actual fundamentals of it. Okay, the Treasury moving up there a little bit as the equities open, but market maker deciding to stack on at 19, and I frankly I kind of agree with him. Okay. Are we wrong? Well, this is a really weird E-mini open over in the E-mini. It's like it's very stop and go, isn't it? Except for that first minute is pretty meh. Oh, well, okay. The Treasury's gonna take 20 there now. I think that we've got some informed trading going against us, and we maybe need to bail. Well, no, but that's interesting that the E-mini is kind of pushing up in the VIX and the 10-year as well. And I see the dollar continuing to push down. So that kind of correlation doesn't 100% make sense unless they're making some sort of a play on stimulus. Now, of course, Ace got out. Everyone got complacent with the low VIX, which became a feedback loop for taking. Well, I definitely remember that, Gary. Yeah. I mean, we remember that. Well, you were around for that one, right? When we had the big volatility event in 2018, was it? Yeah, and we were all kind of sitting there like, well, this was inevitable. We were all kind of frustrated by the low volatility, and we're kind of sitting here being like, this is not a good thing in the long run, guys. Like, everybody's going short the VIX futures, and that's gonna blow up in their faces at some point, because it's like it's a high probability low R trade, and of course when it blew up hard. Okay, so that trade didn't work out. I think this is the first time in several days that the initial move on the open was not a sell. They're actually extending quite a bit now. Like, that's well above overnight positions. But why is the Treasuries buying as well? So you would think that a move that gangbusters would push Treasuries down. Yep, end of December 17 into January 18, markets went down almost 20%. Remember it? Well, but no, I'm talking about before that one, right? I'm talking about the was it March of 2018 when we had the VIX spike, and there was the first liquidity crash that I think we saw. The December 2018 event told me the Fed blinked hard and rate cuts were coming. Yeah, well, that one, do you say it blinked hard? Yeah. I remember thinking at the time that the market was overreacting to it, and that it was really all came down to mismanagement of expectations and communications over at the Fed. That was kind of how I read that December. Because remember, it all started with that disastrous Fed meeting where they raised the interest rate when nobody wanted it to be raised. And then there was that December was just crazy, crazy awful. And I said, nah, this is like, the people will let their politics get involved here and will get short because of what they believe about money and things like that, especially Republicans. But I think you buy this one, and then sure enough, you buy in January, and it wasn't even like 2 months later we were like new all-time highs. That's how I remember that one. You say the Fed blinked, but I kind of looked at it as just like they just failed, you know. Oh, well, that's a good point. Everyone said Powell was not like the other Fed presidents and he would be different. The market traded down and he blinked, appeasing the markets. Oh, it is. Okay, so now I get what you're saying. Because after it went down, then they did say, oh, okay, we'll back off. I don't know if that was so much of him blinking as it was that at that point, the mistake had become so clear in the data that they had no choice but to backtrack. Yeah. But that's where it gets really interesting, because at that point it kind of turns into the Fed really can't do what the market doesn't want, because the Fed is beholden to the data. And guess what? The market influences the data. So then you have to move from being a data-driven Fed to being a trade-driven Fed, where the Fed is a market participant making trades to try and influence the market. And that in certain situations, they are going to have to cause the markets to go down, which is kind of like a scary proposition from a freedom and fairness perspective, isn't it? He kept signaling to the markets the Fed wanted a 3% rate. It would give them the wiggle room just in case they had to cut. It never got to 3%. So the question I think is more interesting on that one, though, is if the Fed hadn't raised in December, what would have happened? Would they still have had to hold off on further rate increases or even decreased rates a little bit, even after that? Because there's one argument that was being made that, you know, that downturn was kind of inevitable anyways. It's kind of, you know, I've said this many times, but the coronavirus coming in where it did kind of set back our knowledge of central bank policy, because there was a lot of unique things about that circumstance. And I think that we would have learned a lot about what was good policy in those situations, but it got cut short. So now what? Maybe now we'll never know. now we're just have to argue about it for the next 30 years. There's Sugar Daddy again. How are you? So what do you think is the cause of this buying in the Treasury? Was a little bit of just slight amount of flattening, but they bought them across the board there. Do you see the British pound kind of turning its head there? Could that be a reason, is concern over Brexit? If the Fed held tight and not cut, just hold and take the backlash and criticism, the markets would adjust to the environment. It dropped and the Fed became daddy to the rescue. Oh, okay. You're saying they raised the rate and then they should have just ignored them when they threw a tizzy fit. I think you're right about that. That the market kind of throws like the taper tantrum, you know, like the market will throw a tizzy about things, but then in the end, it's not really a huge deal. Yellen signaled yesterday that Treasury was going to be a print machine. Okay, but if that's the case, then Treasuries would be selling. Well, they're still above the open. Pretty tight and dull. I think that if we come back, actually, I can take it right there. She stopped short of saying the Treasury would make reparations to slave descendants. I do find it kind of interesting, the whole thing about the Treasury, like, or when we had that market rally off of Yellen, and I'm like, what does everybody think Yellen's going to do that's going to be so different? Like, you don't think that any Democrat Treasury Secretary is going to print lots of, you know, they're all over that stuff. Okay, 5-year down tick. Not really holding a 26 quarter too well at the moment. Oh, hearing oil. Let me wait. Sounds like they're saying that OPEC is agreeing in principle to continue the cuts through the next quarter. So that would be a buy in oil, right? And yet, it doesn't move. You say that was expected news? This was Iran's oil minister, too. So maybe the source is a little questionable. No, that just in general. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of curious. The E-mini kind of bought up there, but the volume was actually against that move. Being 19 half being flaky. Okay, so here's the PMIs, the slightly better than expected. 58.6 versus 57.9 and 58.4 versus 57.7 for the services. Then at the top of the hour, we'll get the non-manufacturing business activity. Also, oh, you know, this could be, okay, NBC's Cadwell tweets on COVID relief in the hallway. The U.S. Senate Majority Leader McConnell says, we're working on that and I'm trying to get it out.
Gary Rich says Yellen stopped just short of saying BLM is cool. What another dovish give into whatever it takes to fool the foolish. I want Warren or Sanders for Fed Prez.
You know, I'm kind of hoping. Am I saying I'm hoping? I mean, I'm hoping that something bad is going to happen, but what I'm about to say would be something bad, but I'm kind of hoping that they overstep on the Treasury issuance and that the market punishes them for it, and then that puts an end to all of these crazy theories that you can print forever and it not affect anything. I'm hoping that we get some, you know, our chance to shine as bond vigilantes. Want it to be like the 80s and everybody hated the bond vigilantes, and I can be like, yep, that's right, I sold them. What of it? What do you want me to do? You want me to buy it because when it's going down and everybody's selling it? Like, why would I do that? You want to do it? You spend your money doing that. And they can all hate me and call me an evil, greedy capitalist, and I'll just laugh in their face. The evil mouth breathing capitalist. Have I been mouth breathing? I shouldn't be, because I just got my nose fixed and it should be really clear. Futures Trader 71 current market action described in a GIF. And it's a grinder. Oh, just fucking fine. Oh, okay. You know, I just got my nose fixed, so I'm a little concerned about it, you know? Oh my gosh. So like I was doing great, and then the baby headbutted me. Oh. And I mean, it's not like they did anything to this, so I think that it's fine, right? I shouldn't actually affect anything other than that it'll just hurt. But it's been like a day now. I still kind of feel that one. Oh, you had the same operation 15 years ago. Was way even harder. I'm told. I did not enjoy that. Having those things in my nose was like, I'm looking back on it now and I'm like, well, that wasn't really a big deal. But at the time I was like, oh, my nose isn't going to heal properly and there's something wrong and they need to get these out. And it's kind of crooked now. No, it's fine. Because it doesn't affect the actual bone that would make it look straight, right? It's really more the walls on the inside of the nose and which way they're going. Babies are the worst enemies of that. No, he's the future. Baby Asher is the future, guys. Get ready. Did you throw the no? No. I haven't seen him today. Usually he will come up to the door. Like his whole life revolves around trying to get in the office and touch all of the cords under my desk. Like that's what he wants to do, is touch the cords. He likes cords. I think he kind of likes me. But mostly he likes to go to places that he's not actually allowed to be in. It's like, oh, I haven't explored there yet. I want to explore there. So I'm trying to let him do it. I'm trying to just let him poke around in here so that he'll get bored of it. But, you know, there are certain things in here that are dangerous. Just wait till he wears those hard shoes and wants to jump on. Oh, yeah. Exploration mode. Yeah, I think so. I tell you, he does like to climb. If you put him on the staircase, he will climb right up it now. He doesn't get down it, but he loves to climb. And when the most annoying thing is we're sitting there because we have like this huge pen for him, but he doesn't like to be locked in the pen, obviously. And we'll kind of put the pen in there, and then we kind of block off. We'll leave one side open and block off the other side of it with couches to give him even more room. So we'll be sitting on the couches, or we'll be holding him on the couches. And if you hold him on the couches, then he tries to climb over you to get to like the end table. So then you just let him play with the end table a little bit. Okay, no big deal. But then he will actually like try to crawl across it and fall in the crack. And that's happened. And it's so annoying. And it really is like, you can't take your eye off of him.
Guess what?
Uh-oh.
Leave right now.
I guess he's going to come. I guess the baby's going to come in and stay with us. I'd probably sit and complain about sitting there. Though I have to say, the upside action in the E-mini has been quite lackluster, but it's not like sellers are pushing down either.
Make sure you look at him every once in a while.
Okay.
I'm choking and you're not moving.
Let's see if I can move this. That'll help a little bit. Oh, you can't see him.
I can move him over.
Oh, you moved it to the kitchen.
You can just see the edge of the thing. There you go. Now you can see him.
They can work.
Where are you live?
Now you can see him. Yeah, I'm live.
Okay.
They have to take one of the kids to the coronavirus testing place, I guess. Say hi.
Let's go.
Say hello, I am the future.
Hi, baby.
A long leash. I should get one of those. I remember, oh man. Well, I don't think that they ever put a leash on me, but I remember being a young baby and my mom holding my hand in the mall, and I hated that more than anything. Just her holding my hand, like, so that I couldn't get away from her. Let's fix the camera here. Just make sure that we've got it. Oops. There. That's better. Oh, and they gave you some food? Good deal. Okay, well, I'm getting a little bit of favorable excursion here, but it's not yeah. The delta's not really turning in my favor, no. And also on the treasury side, it looks like that the market makers are content to get filled at 19 and 18.5 right now. I already reached your daily target. Your target must not be very high. You just going for like 2 points? So that 58, 16, and 19 is exactly what I was like, not necessarily want to see there. We can still turn down, but they're probably going to take the fills there, so. Wow. Bitcoin volume is mostly coming from rigged USDT exchanges. Binance alone is trading more BTC USDT than combined volume of Coinbase, Bitstamp, Kraken, Gemini, and even Bitfinex. Really? Now that is interesting. They did a good excursion there, but then bounced right back up to our cost basis. To be honest with you, I would rather see your baby's face. I understand. Let the baby trade you as a natural. Okay, can you say bye, bye, bye? Bye, bye, bye. No, he doesn't. He hasn't really done B's and S's yet. He'll say da, 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 da. Jim Brunson tweets, the EU is under pressure from Paris and other capitals on the governance issue in Brexit talks because of concerns over Britain keeping its word. Give him the mouse. No. I've given him the mouse before, and it would just be like the mouse flipping all over like that. Yeah, see that. So now they're not really holding liquidity at 18.5 or 19. I bet you though that at least 3,000 trade at 18.5. ISM coming up. Good. Thank you for reminding me. Now, ISM non-manufacturing business activity estimated 60.9 versus a previous reading of 61.2. And probably part of why the E-mini is still so slow. And the price action is pretty decidedly neutral as well. You had a doji up there at the high, 2 dojis up at the high, and then a strong down candle, and now this candle retracing back up. If we are able to push down a little bit, it'll still be like a shooting star candle there, but I digress. Okay, so they're pulling the liquidity here on the ISM, so it must be more impactful number than I would normally expect, because that's quite a pull for it. Okay, so non-manufacturing business activity 58 versus an estimated 60. non-manufacturing employment 51 spot 5. And then non-manufacturing PMI 55 spot 9 versus an expected 56. So slightly lower than expected. Yeah, CrowdStrike. I saw that CrowdStrike was up. I think they were up a little bit higher in the pre-market though, weren't they? Okay. I guess we buy in. See if I can get a better spot. Okay. So 18.5 now being kind of flaky. We're going to see the dollar tank here. They're certainly eyeing it. What you got there? Oh, are those Velcro ties? Yeah. I took 19. 23 taken there. I didn't feel that. That's interesting. Oh, wait, what? That's not what was supposed to happen. Gonna have to fix that one. Are you throwing everything on the floor? Yes. Kicking my chair. Where'd they go? I can slide back in here. Okay. Tony Connolly saying talks on post-Brexit trade deal are at very end. Yeah, it's the same thing that everybody's been saying. I don't think that that's a new one, but... And the 10-year ticks up again. No, I take that back. I wasn't the market maker. Ace is like, hi, baby. Yeah. How you doing? Oh, you missed. You missed. You're so silly. There you go. There you go. And the dollar does continue its decline. Now at 90.6. And the treasuries hitting at 20. Do they think that the deal in the Senate is going to be more, we say, hawkish than expected, and that's why they're buying it? You okay? You choking? Yeah, you're okay. Come. Okay. What? We're watching this. Is this right here? Why are you not? Ah! What's this? Is that cool? Yeah, is that cool? Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? What's so funny? Why is so funny? Uh-oh, are you coughing? Do you have coronavirus? Do you have something caught in your throat? Okay. Baby power. Hey, Asher, if you could move the S&P 500 up a point or two. What's wrong? You need me to look at you all the time? And not the screen? You sense a heavy diaper in the thing? I hope not. Oh, I hope not, because he is so difficult to change. Oh my gosh. He was trying to say something about the economy, maybe. I tried on TikTok a few videos when he was talking and putting subtitles on it, but those ones didn't do that well. The ones that seem to do that I put effort into that seem to do the best are the ones where with like the infomercial that I did with my wife yesterday. You go and find Speculator Seth on TikTok and you can go and watch that one. But even those only like 150 views. So TikTok doesn't like me, apparently. But why are they buying the treasury? I want to know. Are they just doing it because I'm short? I know, right? You would think. You would think. Thank you. They hedging a little, maybe? I don't know. So let me back up. When they pushed up the first time to break up into a new high, there was a significant amount of volume doing it. And you know that since that time, then the market makers moved so that they were market making between 21 and 19. And they increased their spread. So that move was informed trading. So the question is why? What was it that, why are they buying? There's got to be a reason for it. And I don't know what it is. You get it? Do you want this one? Oh, I didn't catch that he's got this stupid Velcro thing in his mouth. Just to get smart money in before the sell. It was, I would mark, I'm going to mark it down as informed trading, and the market maker is reacting as you would expect after informed trading. And I probably should have done that too. I probably should have taken some off at 18.5 and taken some there and made money from there to there. They upgraded Tesla and it's 3.1% today, so I'm going to blame it on Goldman Sachs. Oh, really? Was it Goldman that upgraded them? To a buy? Huh. Well, I'm noticing something curious going on because the VIX is rising again. We're getting another one of those bullish moves with the VIX rising with it. I think that we need to pull up our stocks here, scanner here a little bit. So of course they tick into me, but they don't clear. As is tradition. Gary says 10-year moving slightly up yield-wise, likely on claims falling, but it's not. But that's not what's happening. Well, maybe the yield has moved up a little bit, but that's the thing is I'm short the treasury. I'm expecting their yields to rise a little bit because the S&P 500 is bullish, but the treasuries have been seeing some market buying. Here, baby, makes you happy. Good deal. Oh, looks good when we're both up there. Can you see yourself on the screen? You see you right there? Hi. Okay, so I can see there Tesla was down in the overnight market, but now coming up. And it's kind of a curious little formation there in Tesla, ain't it? Here was when I said, hey, they look toppy. I guess we caught a little bit of a short-term top. Some of our tech proxies doing okay. Apple. Let's pull up like Neo maybe. And Neo had a pretty good recovery yesterday, but it's looking kind of a little sketch today. Look at the banks, they're kind of flat. This, by the way, it needs to be a the Fidelity Active Trader Pro is not the greatest platform, guys. So Gary, on the claims, I just want to reiterate that the claims decreased this week, but a significant portion of it came from decreasing claims in California, which were artificially high because of fraud. So the actual unemployment claims, as it pertains at least to how we might want to factor it in for the non-farms tomorrow, was not all that bullish. And in fact, you note that there was a little bit of a spike up when that news hit, and then they sold it down a little bit until we turned into this bull run here. But this bull run has just been since the open, right? But the thing that we were getting at was that the VIX is, well, we're down from where it was yesterday, but it is slightly rising. Just a little bit. Okay, good. We caught that. To be honest with you, it looks bullish, just not going to go up all that far. So I'm just kind of trying to get a sense of if there's any kind of like significant rotation going on here, but I'm not necessarily seeing that. Right here you can see in the treasuries again that they're coming back down to the bottom, and the market maker is holding a pretty hard wall at 19. So this is where I'm like, if this is bullish and the decreasing claims is good and everything, shouldn't the treasuries be selling? Shouldn't there be net selling in the treasuries? And that volume is not coming through. Now, maybe it still will, and maybe we can catch our fill at 17.5. But for the moment, it looks like that the informed traders traded against us. Oh, look at that move in the E-mini. Ooh, that was a stop run. That was a stop a run. Spot VIX is down 1%. Futures VIX only down. Okay. Well, when I look at it, maybe we need to put it in here on like 1 minute. So I can see here that the E-mini has done nothing but rise, but the VIX kind of rose a little bit and came back and is rising again at the moment. So I'm just asking, why is this rising at the moment when the E-mini is like gangbusters high? Shouldn't the VIX be like plummeting right now? Right? Like let me draw it. Do you see my screen? Oh, it's over here. Why didn't it do this? Gosh. Why didn't it do that? I don't understand. Now, Brannigan Barrett on Twitter says, if you're observant, the VIX is ticking higher at the same time ES and NQ are ticking up, someone is buying protection, ... That's not necessarily what that means. Because we have seen many situations where the stocks have moved higher along with the VIX, and it was purely because of gamma, because they're higher, such a high percentage of the volume is options related at the moment that's how it affects the VIX. Probably part of why the VIX has stayed a little bit artificially high. Although I'd say it's probably come back to a reasonable level now. McConnell coming up on the floor expected to talk about the COVID relief bill. Wow, 36.90 is the expected move up higher? Well, I don't know about that one. I have to probably have to take this up here. Oh no, wait, I'm only along one. Okay, never mind. What time frame of the VIX? That was just a 1 minute chart. So that's just the first hour. Oh yeah, I can see the stack at 3680. Actually, let's go back and find it in the tape here, 3680. No, that stack's been there for a while. That stack's always been there, so. I don't know if we... What? You want that right there? There's one of Mom's hairs. So see now 19 ticked up and 25.17 has hit into it. I suppose that one could just still be the market makers. This is kind of the range that I expect them to be holding, but it seems like a lot. Seems like a lot to me. Now on the split side, they're holding a lot at 19.5, so he's so cute. You know what? Since the day he was born, so like, you go to the hospital and they're like, "Oh, your baby is so cute," and I'm like, "Oh, you tell everybody that," but they were like quite insistent that he was particularly cute. Particularly, they really did. What happened to that other one I gave you? You looking for this? You looking for this? Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Let me find it. Okay, look, here's Carson.
I'm ready. Just go for it. Let's go, me and you.
Hopefully that doesn't like get, you know, oh, that's copyrighted music, blah blah blah, you know.
Just go right here to
That good? Well,
Driving left. Oh my God. Let's go. Me and you racing down the road. Let's go. Driving left and turning right. Let's go for a spin.
I'm hearing so much from the news squawks about this OPEC Plus meeting. They're like talking about who's delivering remarks and who won't, and Donald Trump looks like certain Republican senators are getting cold feet with respect to the termination of Big Tech Section 230, a national security and election integrity must. For years, all talk, no action. Termination must be put in the defense bill. Garrett Hawk tweets, those certain Republican senators include the chairman of the committee that wrote the bill. The president will almost certainly lose this staring contest with Congress. I don't know. I think he could just deny it. He'll just deny it and then make, and then Biden will do it, of course. Maybe there's more. Maybe it's more complicated than that.
Captain Core is here to save the day. Let's go. Me and you. Oh my God.
Jeez. Oh man, that maybe I shouldn't have brought that over here. That thing makes a lot of noise. Okay, so I think we need to think about getting off of this. Yeah. So the E-mini looks like it's gonna turn back down. I'm wondering if they're gonna get back to 3671 or not. Treasury kind of holding that 20 area-ish. See if he still likes it without the noise. He'll either deal with it or he'll like start freaking out. Let's see what he does. Do you like the car? You like the car? There's a car. Okay. Oh, we get natural gas stocks change here is what they're. All right. Well, E-mini's holding that 76. Okay. I guess can't really say what's going to happen. He says, like, dang it, I wanted it to trend up all day. Well, I already got out, so I made 30 on the E-mini, I guess. Is it less interesting now because it doesn't make the sound? Okay, here, there.
Hi guys, I'm Corey Carson. Come on, Christy, gotta keep moving.
Is that better? Now that it makes the sound? I apologize. You guys probably don't want to hear that, do you? Oh? Yeah, it is. You know what? You need to sit up straight, bud. Come here. Sit up straight. There you go. Now don't slouch. Oh, what's on there? Look, there's a duck underneath of you. Oh, can't you just sit there? I'm sitting in my chair. Why don't you sit in your chair? All right. You ready? You're sure you want out? Okay. Got food all over the floor, dude. You're gonna touch the microphone, aren't you? Yeah. And the 10-year ticks up to 20 and they're absorbing 31.50. Why are they buying it? I want to know. Like, it's just a sim trade, so it's I don't care about that, but what I care about is it seems like there's something important going on that I'm not aware of. And that always irks me. All up overnight, but res ahead. Oh, resistance ahead. So I think he's saying, oh, well, it's been up all night and that they're just trying to, where is our volume profile here? Oh, there it is. They're just trying to trade. Well, but they're higher than yesterday, though. That's the other thing. They're just trying to continue the trend, I guess. That could be technical. It could be technical. Hey, be careful of that, because that'll just like fall right over. Just a lackluster bullish move on no volume. I don't know. There was a, how much was it? There was a jump there when they pushed up to the high of about 7,000 contracts. So that's why I'm like, look, the dollar's still looking good. Or rather down. The E-minis pushed out, how they equaled that high. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could buy it again if you really want, but I mean, your risk reward isn't super great. There's a little bit of volume holding there. Look, they turned back down there very, very quickly. Yeah. Are you gonna jump? Yeah. And now they're holding the 4K at 20. Why? Why? Senate Majority Leader McConnell, I see a few hopeful signs towards possible compromise on coronavirus aid bill. Maybe they're buying it up because of that. I mean, I don't know if that's explicitly bullish, but for treasuries, but whatever. Well, they could, I don't know. Probably gonna get a couple of big bars here, I think. See, look right here. A couple of big bars. I think that one goes down to there, and then even the next one might be like that. Then maybe a reversal. I don't know. I mean, we're not really seeing the volume come in short quite yet. I mean, there was a little bit when it dropped off from the high from the first time, but it's really just tight. It's ASMR. Now what do you want? Nah, I mean, it's okay. Oh, we can manage it out. McConnell sounds pretty optimistic. Compromises within reach. We can do this. We need to do this. So let's be about actually making a law. US dollar continues to fall. What do you want? He's like, but Dad, that's my future buying power. I don't want the dollar to fall. Stop it. He's rage trading. Damn it. Sell the treasuries. Why are they buying? They're about to pass a deal. They're about to pass a deal. And that's going to be more treasury issuance, more debt. It should be going down, not up. You tell them. Do you like hitting that? It'll be okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, it'll be fine. Just relax. Is that a Wookiee cry or something? I'm surprised that oil hasn't moved more than it has today. Nas took a little nice rabbit turd down. Oh, maybe. Oh, you still want to belong to E-Mini? Well, it looks like that they're kind of doing this sort of a thing, so we could try and buy down there. Lindsey Graham says he's headed to the White House. What is wrong? What is wrong? Oh, we gonna get filled? You gonna film me? You film me. Come on. Thank you. Yeah. Destroy Daddy's favorite mic. Well, that's the thing, is that this mic is a f***ing tank. Oh, now you're going to trade it, huh? 18.5? Oh, the 5-year busted out the bottom of that range. What's wrong? Yeah. You don't want to be held? You want to explore the room? Okay. Look, right there. I got your fight stick. Use that. Leave it that. Just don't go under the desk. 'Cause under the desk is dangerous. I'm not sure what else you want from me, bud. You know you got the right spot when they're like one tick away from you in the evening and they won't feel you. This is kind of a problem because you might need a little bit of informed trading to hit you now. This is the range area is a little bit too obvious. What is the deal? Yeah. Well, the 18.5 is holding that 4K again. Survey USA poll out today has Ossoff up 2 points and Warnock up 7 points in the Georgia runoff. Is that going to be a Georgia sweep? Ooh, that could be bad, really bad. Uh-oh, keep your hand away from that reset, that power button. Don't touch that power button. No, no, no. Don't touch that. Come here. Don't touch that, please. Your hands are cold, bud. Your hands are cold. Why are your hands cold? Ow. Can you, like, not punch me in the face? Jeez. I'm gonna hold you upside down now. What you want? You want to sit back in here? Get some food there. Oh, they hit me. They hit me. They took a pretty, I don't know. There was a bit of an excursion on that one. Let's monitor it closely, Asher. Do you see it? Right there. You want the car? Let's figure out how to make it the noise. You lost the duck. I can't reach him. He's right there. Okay, I'll get him. I'll get him. I'll get him. Yeah. Oh, wait. Here it is. Here it is. There's the duck. There's the duck. Oh, 23.58 at 18.5 A. There must be another part to this. Because you see it's got these little things on the bottom of it. I don't know if you can see that. It's got these little teeth. Let's search Amazon. Oh yeah, they do. They have like a whole set. Have like a whole set, and you make sounds when they go over certain locations. Got me in the nose good. Still kind of hurts. 20 bucks for that? Yeah, I know, right? Dude, when we were kids, it seems like toys were so much more expensive. Like something like that would be like, oh no, mom and dad wouldn't get that. It's too expensive. Now it's like 20 bucks. Okay, whatever. Freaking China. It's all China. China. Oh, okay. 1985 to go through 18. What do you think? They think they're going to do it at 17.5? Yeah. No. Maybe. Watch this. Watch this. You're watching? What the heck did you just do, Dad? You put this thing on me. What is this? It's Velcro. It'll give you superpowers. Young Hong says, hi, how are you? Wait till he gets you in the wallet is still... I didn't see that comment from Ace earlier. Oh, man. Senate Majority Leader McConnell on the underlying reality of policy differences. It is still with us. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. What's this say? Equity valuations. Oh, God, I hate it when you're like, start reading something and Twitter moves. I know. Here. Equity valuations are being increasingly framed around the perception of liquidity since the great financial crisis. which in itself intertwined with volatility and has become dependent on the notion of central bank backstops. Yet, vanishing liquidity triggered by Volmageddon creates an eerie divergence. Oh, okay. Wait, here. You want some food? No, he's got one on both hands. He's like, oh, you figured it out. The Velcro. Hmm. They seem to both be reacting to the same thing, and I'm not sure what it is. Man, the 5-year, when the 5 years sold back down through there, the volume just absolutely tanked. The 10-year hasn't given up on volume. The 30-year did it too, but the 10-year hasn't. That's interesting. We getting one of those three-way spreads with the 10-year buying up. Does Velcro taste good, Asher? What do you think of Velcro? I got it. It's not that. Ooh, look at that. Take it 18. And the S&P 500 dropped there. You okay? I know. They're so close, right? Well, it was a pretty aggressive take at 18. I think that they will hit it in the 17.5. I think they'll do it. Oh, you want me to get out of the short? What is this? Nope, 18 goes back up. And they're when it ticks up, they're stacking a lot there, ain't they? Yeah. Cat Turd says, I wish someone loved me the way Mike Lee loves outsourcing our jobs to foreign countries. Okay. Oh, you're going to write it short? Well, I'm kind of thinking it could. How much money do you think you make from giving news services tips as an OPEX Plus delegate? Well, how long has it been? It's only been 30 minutes, bud. They spit in a cup? I bet you they'll be back soon. No, I bet you they'll be back soon. I don't know. They're still being stingy there at 17 half. No, this is the thing with the 10-year treasury. It's a little slow, but you just got to be patient. It's okay. It can be an advantage, right? It gives you time to think about it, to see what's going on, get out. You don't have to freak out all the time. Apparently he's like, Dad, just pull up NQ. I'm thinking about Gary being so sure that the E-mini is going to come down here, and I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't you go buy puts on that one? If you think it's going to be a significant break. Well, you just have to wait. What? Look, here's a duck. Okay, wait. Here is the bottom half of a barrel. Oh, that was smart. That's clever. Gross. So it looks like that there was a decline coming, but then an iceberg saved it. What? Here. You want a microphone? What's this? Oh, this is Nouriel Robini. Responding to Solidus Max, talking about how all of the BTC volume is coming from USDT. Yeah, that's good singing. Good job. Yeah, no? Nouriel Robini, all rig system in crypto land. Luckily, law enforcement investigating it all. Last time, BitMEX and his tuggish CEO Hayes tried to bully me. I shamed them in public, and a week later, the CFTC started their investigation that led to his and criminal business indictments last month. It seems like the Oh, okay. What now? We're upset enough about it now? We're gonna cry? What would you like? We have to sit here. Do you want to be on the floor? Would you like to be on the floor? Or you just don't like me bad-mouthing Bitcoin? Maybe he's just about me bad-mouthing Bitcoin. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, you have to give me that first. Give me the microphone. Stop. Let me have the microphone. Okay, let me have it. Here. You. Gross. Okay, is that good? Is that what we wanted? He is growing his teeth. Yeah, he is. You want to be on the floor? Okay. That's not enough? Maybe he's just pooping or something. You pooping? Maybe it was the thing on his arm. He was tired of it. He wanted that gone. Okay, now they showing it. Now they're like, okay. They're not hitting into it, but they're trying to pressure it at 17.5 at least. Now the E-mini, that is a little bit more. Okay, hold on a second, bud. That was quite... Schumer says McConnell does not seem inclined to compromise, tweets a zero hedge. I'm warning that there will be a double dip recession without a stimulus package. Well, okay, you say so. Can't believe they didn't film me at 17.5 still. And they tick back up. So stingy today. You got it? Eh. Oh, man. Oh, he's out, huh? Look at that. Yeah. Treasury's rising there off of that. Well, that's the first time that I've ever seen Gary try and call a scalp because he says he's already covered out. But that move down was off of that news. Doing okay? Okay. Well, that sucks that we lost all that, man. Well, I don't know about our spot here, but I do see this news probably holding them down for a while. Or did you find the light control? Yeah. Probably should have taken another one when it was down in there and I saw the market makers holding it there, but the funny thing is that if they're going to recover that, we'll cover. Shouldn't the treasury come all the way back down? Well, the treasury did tick down there. Let's see here. That trade was purely on time holding only. Felt it would hold till the half hour. It reversed and came all the way back. Yeah, it did. Treasury's not coming back down nearly as hard though. But that looks like people dumping positions and then not actually going short. They were all long. They all exited. And then they bought it back. Now we'll see if people start going short. Let's take it from about here, 76 or so. I think I'm kind of eyeing it short, though. In fact, like right there. Fine. I got out there because I got about 10 minutes left and they're holding an iceberg at 19, so I still really want 17.5. I think there's still a really good chance of it trading later today, but I'm not going to sit on it all day. decided you didn't. Well, what's that? Oh, I need to watch. It's not the indicators that are failing us. It's our interpretation of the indicators, which are more important at any given time. And that's the art and technical analysis. That is the biggest load of bullshit I think I have ever heard, to be honest with you. Oh, so when the indicator doesn't work the way that we say it is, that just means we're interpreting it wrong. Okay. I kind of want to reply to that one and call it bullshit. Nope. Still have a little bit to play with. Actually, still have a lot bit to play with. If this goes up to all-time highs, then I'm really going to be sitting here like, Doesn't matter what happens, does it? As long as they're printing money. Well, Mom needs to come back because we got to end this soon. And they didn't get below 19. Oh, this is a weird day, to be honest with you. Yeah. NQ bases ran and everyone falls. I don't know. This is kind of an odd. It's another one of those like I just flipped the switch moves. It has a really characteristic kind of look to it too. You see how it's kind of like just kind of like slowly turns up, and then there'll be a little bloop at the end. There was a little bit of flight into the dollar though, like. Oh, now they trade it, huh? Wow. Do you hear him say dada? Do you say dada? So you're doing one of those, we're not going to pivot here sort of things. What should we call today's video? Asher Rage Trades? Oh, I never changed the title to be the third. Well, I feel like I could have, if maybe I was a little bit more engaged here, could have traded this better. Although I certainly feel bad about that initial move up. Like it took that one on the open and it didn't work. And so, yeah. But the way the market is moving kind of has me a little bit concerned for if either stimulus deal falls apart or non-farms ends up being really bad, So we'll see what happens, but I think it's time for me to get going. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we can be a little more focused. But in the meantime, we did okay in the 10 years, so. And it wasn't bad in the E-mini. In fact, we caught a really good one. It was just after that it kind of fell apart for us. So anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.